On Sunday, March 25th, during the Pope's visit to Mexico, he'll celebrate Mass at the Bicentennial Park, which is located on the foot of a famous mountain known as Cubilete Hill, where a historic monument was built back in the year 1920. In the early 20th century, Catholics were persecuted in Mexico during a war. So precisely to ask God for peace, in the year 1920, the church built a statue of the Sacred Heart. But 8 years later, the monument was destroyed by the government, just as priests were forced out of the country.
The monument was destroyed and people were complaining about it. So in an act of defiance, Mexico's president at that time, Plutarco Elias Calles, closes down churches and temples and then forces out priests and bishops.
Almost 20 years later, in 1942, the Bishop of León built the current image of Christ the King, which is over 8,000 feet high. It still stands tall in the Cubilete Hill as a sign of victory and freedom.
The monument shows Christ with his arms wide open. It's made of bronze and weighs about 80 tons. Something that always catches my attention is that at his feet there are two angels, one bearing the crown of thorns and one that holds a royal crown.
The first angel symbolizes the suffering of martyrs, the second, the eventual victory of the people. And there's also a basilica, which is the main destination for pilgrims. Now this time around, it will be the Pope who makes the visit.
Knowing that the Pope will be there, praying alongside thousands of Mexicans and calling for God's blessing, I think all their work will pay off, and they will be very happy.
Roughly 400,000 people will attend that Mass, but Raimundo won't be one of them since he's studying to become a priest in Rome. Even so, he says he'll be there in spirit, especially since his family back home is all set for the visit. They've even rented a small bus so that the entire family and friends can all go together to take part in the Pope's visit.